We've reached the final stage of a Peerceptiv assignment, the back evaluations. Remember that a Peerceptiv assignment has three components for its grading. The first one is the writing component of the grade, and that's 40% of your overall assignment grade. The second part is 40% for the reviewing grade. That reviewing grade is broken down into two parts. Half of that grade is assigned from your accuracy. How accurate were you in your reviews of others? The other half is your helpfulness grade. How helpful were your reviews to others? The back evaluations are where that helpfulness grade comes from. And so in the back evaluations, you will basically review your reviewers for how helpful their feedback was to you in understanding the grade that you received on your assignment. And then finally, that task grade is 20% as long as you complete all three components, the upload, the reviews, and the back evaluations. That 20% is yours. So let's go to Peerceptiv and see how those back evaluations work. So we'll log in. Again, we're going to go to the assignment page so we can get the nice timeline view of our assignments. And so here we are on our assignment. We uploaded our document. We have completed all 4 of our peer reviews, and now we're going to complete 4 back evaluations. Because 4 students viewed our submission, that means that we're going to complete a back evaluation on each one of those 4 reviews we received. But before we do that, we can go back and compare the reviews on the peer documents. So these are the 4 documents that we reviewed as in that second phase. So we uploaded our document, and then when we got to the review phase, we were given these 4 students to review. If you want to, you can go back and refresh your memory by looking at the documents they submitted. But the other thing that you can do is look at the reviews that you gave and that the other students gave these assignments. So this is Ethan Olive 8406. This is that person's draft. And so what you're seeing here are all of the comments and all of the ratings that were given to Ethan Olive by you and the other reviewers. So Ethan Olive was reviewed by 5 different reviewers. One of them was this student persona, whose anonymous ID is Hudson Silver 3655. So you can see that I gave Ethan Olive a 7 on his weather wind format, a 5 on his legal question and rule, a 7 on his legally significant facts, and then 7s on his organization and grammar. You'll notice that other reviewers, for the most part, agreed with me on the weather wind format, which means my accuracy would be pretty good on the weather wind format because I was in line with others. On the legal question and rule, we split. The majority felt like it was a 5. A couple of people felt like it was a 3. Legally significant facts, again, 3 people thought that was a 5 and only 2 people thought that was a 7. And then in organization and grammar, again, I'm right there in line with everybody else on that one. So I did a pretty decent job there. In addition, I can see the comments that everyone gave. Hudson Silver, these are my comments. This is what I said. And I can see what others said as well. So I can see sort of what my helpfulness is probably going to be compared to for Ethan Olive. So I can see basically, before I go in and do my back evaluations, I can see sort of the range of feedback that was given on these documents to get an idea of how effective the feedback was that I got. So I'm going to go back to, this is again the timeline on the assignment, and I'm going to click on read reviews on your document and send back evals to reviewers. So again, now this gives me all of the reviews on my document. So it's similar to the information that I had before, only this is all on my document. So these were the 4 people who viewed my document. This is the peer review average on my document. And I can see that pretty much all of the reviewers were in line, and I actually got some really good, thorough feedback. Now, I did get one thing that concerns me. Reviewer number 1 said that he thought that was the same as the statement of Ethan Olive, and was a little snarky about that. What an amazing coincidence. So that may be something I want to look into if someone else had a submission that was almost identical to mine. On an assignment like this, where the facts are pretty discrete, the issue is pretty discrete, and the format is given, it's not going to be unusual for a lot of these assignments to look very similar, so there may be nothing to that. Okay, so now I can go and back evaluate each of these reviewers. But again, before I do that, I can compare them to one another and see who I thought did a good job and who maybe left me in the lurch. Okay, so I'm going to back evaluate the first one. So the review on my document, these are the comments that that first reviewer gave me. And so now I'm going to rate this review. So my options are, for all of these back reviews, anything from provided good detailed comments on strengths, weaknesses, and constructive suggestions for improvement, down to provided only unsupported conclusion that submission was good or bad, and the same on the second dimension of the writing. So I'm going to rate this helpfulness. Well, this person seems to think that either I plagiarized Ethan Olive or Ethan Olive plagiarized me. Either way, it doesn't tell me anything about how good my submission was or what needed to be improved. So I'm going to say it only provided an unsupported conclusion that submission was good or bad. On the second dimension, I got the same thing. So I'm going to give that ones a brief reason. Oh, I forgot to include a brief reason. So I've got to justify my review. So the reviewer only told me that she or he thought my submission was plagiarized or copied from or by another student, but didn't comment at all on the substance or form of my issue statement. So I'm going to save those and then submit them, and I've completed one of my back evaluations. So let's look at one of my more thorough reviewers and evaluate their evaluation. The format is used correctly with the legal question after whether and the legally relevant facts after when. Okay, that's helpful to know. The correct legally relevant fact is included with the exact language, which is important. That's also helpful. However, the legal question is too broad. It asks about firm offer without identifying the specific element of giving assurance. Okay, so that's some nice specific feedback. And so I would say that provided good detailed comments on strengths, weaknesses, and constructive suggestions for improvement. Included comments I can use for revision. I understand what I did well and what needs improvement. Thank you. Writing is correct and easy to read. So I would say that provided good detailed comments on strengths, weaknesses, and constructive suggestions for improvement. It says that there's nothing really for me to improve, that it was correct and easy to read. So I would say that this feedback is helpful and welcome. Thank you. So I'll save those, click submit, and then I go through that process 2 more times with 2 more back evaluations. And then once I do that, I am completely finished with the assignment. And I am ready to get my grade. Now, your professor likely will want to go through and look at all of the grades before releasing them to anyone, and may want to make some adjustments. So you may not get your grade automatically upon completing your back evaluation, but you should receive some further instruction from your professor about when exactly you can expect to receive a grade based on your reviews and your back evaluations. And if it's a small class, your teacher may also review each of the documents as well. So good luck using Peerceptiv, and happy mastery.